何?
私の全部をあげるからゴーストの全部使わせて。
勝つさ。
Hello and welcome to Sakura Society, an anime appreciation podcast where we aim to show that anime is far more than just tentacles and catgirls. There's also countless stories of love, loss, laughs, hope, horror, and happiness that are just dying to be found. And I, Brendan White, the Salt and Pepper Senpai, am here to help you find them. Sakura Society is proudly powered by Audio Technica and our friends over at Boss Coffee. Go upgrade your audio and caffeine games today, preferably after you listen to this banger of a podcast episode. And joining in the Sugoi studio is one of my dearest and oldest friends who is returning for his fourth tour of duty on the podcast. You can find him on the socials at BenMCJ. Benny, you bloody legend, welcome back to the studio. How might you be doing?
I am in the mood for some bleh.
You and me both. Without burying the lead there.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to bury the lead. I want to get straight into it because this song. I love it.
It's a tone setter, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to chatting about this show.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna skip a lot of the formalities as far as who you are, what you do, because yes, like mentioned in the lead in there. This is your fourth dance on the potty. You've been here since the very second episode when we did the banger call of the night, which has just returned for a season 2 after a few years, which I'm very happy to see.
I'm looking forward to, on the Christmas break, watching all of season 2 in one sitting.
It's so good. It is so good.
And Mirage is just also a bop for the intro, and just everything I've seen about it looks fantastic. So keen.
I'm happy that they got Creepy Nuts back for the intro and the outro for season 2 again, because that anime was what really put me onto that band. I hadn't heard of them at all until I saw that first season opening of Call of the Night, and I was like, what is this toe tapper?
Yeah. Darton, is it Darton was that one? Yeah. And then Call of the Night song itself, I think, was the outro.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Which is what inspired the entire anime. That's a really, really cool story. I love that story about how that whole manga was inspired by Creepy Nuts to begin with.
Yeah, which is cool. Like full circle moment right there. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we have covered Call of the Night, like I mentioned, way back on episode 2 of this podcast several years back now. It is a fantastic episode to listen to and also a fantastic anime to check out. So go check that out when you can. But I guess before we jump into the focus anime and sort of the core of this episode, I wanted to know, like, what are you currently obsessed with? Whether it be things that you're watching, reading, playing, what's currently sort of occupying your time and your interest levels there, Benny?
Lots of gaming stuff at the moment, like with Arc Raiders. Video Game Awards was just literally 2 days ago, and it's just really, really rehyped me for Diablo with the Paladin drop. So I'm keen for that over the Christmas break. In terms of watching, there's a live action series, and I've been bugging you about it for a little while now, called Glass Heart on Netflix. And it is anime adjacent. It's a Japanese drama. It's a slice of life musical drama, and all the actors learnt all the instruments, everything. The music is fantastic. The love story is beautiful. Everything that happens in this show is just absolutely wonderful, and I can't recommend it enough. And that soundtrack has consumed me since I watched it. It is a regular rotation in my car, as well as in the office. I'll put it on my headphones at work and just sit there and listen to it. And no one knows that I'm sitting there listening to sweet, beautiful Japanese love songs and punk rock and pop rock and all that sort of stuff. It's fantastic. I love it.
It sounds like such a perfect mix. And I think, like, you've mentioned it to me a couple of times, but I swear today was the first time you mentioned your Lie in April comparison, and that was the thing that just got me. I'm like, I beg your pardon, sir? Why did you not tell me this several months ago?
The music on it is just absolutely stunning with the J-pop rock type stuff and everything like that. And the lead character is just musical genius. And I won't go into any spoiler territory and everything like that with some of the other characters around him, but he's just like the story and of this character and everything else that happens around it is, you will absolutely 100% love it. You'll fall in love with it as well. And if you like those sort of slice of life romance animes, if you like the ones that have got lots of music in it, like say a Bocce what else is it? I can't think of any other really good like top
Bocce,
ones.
K-On.
K-On, yeah, there you go. Any of those ones that are really music heavy and song heavy, you're gonna love this drama too. Like it could have been an anime. It's that anime adjacent perfectly.
Well, it's perfect because I've still got an itch I'm still trying to scratch after the first season of Rock is a Lady's Modesty ended on High Dive last season. So I feel I'm going to have to jump into this, maybe check out a couple episodes tonight and see what all the hype is about, because it sounds like a good time. It sounds like it's going to warm the heart and, strum at those guitar-shaped heartstrings, I guess. So I'm ready.
Certainly will. The guitars, pianos, drums, everything in this thing is just top-notch. I can't recommend it enough.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I think an anime that we can't recommend enough as well is probably one that we're watching at the moment. It is currently airing, but first, before we jump into it, if this is your first time stopping by the podcast, firstly, thank you. Secondly, what took you so goddamn long? But the way this podcast works is we're doing a deep dive on either the first or the first 3 episodes of an anime in question, just sort of work out, is it good, is it bad, the high points, the low points, just to try and determine if this anime is potentially worth your time. So we're going to be going full spoiler on things throughout the first 3 episodes of this anime in question. It is currently airing. We are currently vibing with it. But yeah, that's how this podcast is sort of shaped. We're trying to take the guesswork and the pain out of working out, should you or should you not watch this? Because, it's a busy life out there. It's a busy world that we sort of all populate. So there's nothing worse than jumping into content and going, God damn it, I've just wasted an hour plus of my time. It looked good, but then end up not returning the goodness of the aesthetic, and it just is poop.
And we literally talked about it before we jumped on air as well, just saying finding time. We're busy. We've got very, very busy lives. So trying to keep caught up with everything that's going on is just hard enough as it is, as well as trying to check out all the new stuff. So yeah, it's definitely worthwhile listening to these sort of shows to find out what's really good out there.
That's it. So we're aiming to try and take all that pain and that stress and guesswork out of working out if this anime is one for you. And our title in focus for this episode of Sakura Society, an anime appreciation podcast, is an action fantasy smash known as Gachiakuta. Said series is a multi-award winning manga that originally debuted in February of 2022, which is written and illustrated by Kei Urana, with 17 volumes currently available at time of recording. An anime adaptation debuted in July of 2025 with 24 episodes planned, split across 2 cores, written by Hiroshi Seiko, directed by Fumihiko Suganama, with music by Taku Iwasaki. This series is animated by Bones Film, the studio behind such titles as My Hero Academia, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Mob Psycho 100, Skate the Infinity, and the soon-to-be-released Marriage Toxin, which I am so goddamn hyped about. Gachiakuta can be found on Crunchyroll and Netflix, pending your region around the world, and currently holds a score of 8.08 on My Anime List based on 78,000 unique user reviews. And the story of Gachiakuta is as follows. In a wealthy town where waste is casually discarded, a slum dweller named Rudo survives by salvaging what others throw away. When his adoptive father, Recto, is murdered, Rudo is falsely accused and cast into the pit, a vast garbage dump used as a death sentence. There he encounters monstrous trash beasts and is saved by a cleaner who wields a powerful vital instrument. Gaining one of his own, Rudo joins the cleaners to survive the pit, uncover the truth, and avenge his father. So, Benny, let's sort of start things off here. Let's talk about hook and expectations, just to sort of establish our collective mindsets before we initially jumped into watching this anime, because I feel there was a lot of hype leading up to this release when it sort of dropped in July. It was everywhere on the socials, heavily advertised on Crunchyroll, in all of their sort of press and media emails they'd send out. Trailers were everywhere. Key visuals were everywhere. The hype was very real.
I remember the hype really kicking off back when they first announced that they were making this as an anime. I think we were talking about Kaiju number 8, the first season of Kaiju number 8, when they first started talking about making this. And we then we're like, oh, what is this? This sounds wicked, because I don't think you had read it either.
No.
And I went looking for it, and I had a quick squiz in it, and because I just didn't have the subscription, I didn't get a chance to actually pick it up and read. But yeah, I was just going, oh, this actually sounds really, really cool. I'm excited to see what this is going to be when it actually comes. And yeah, the hype just never dropped for it, leading all the way up to its release.
Yeah, I'm with you. I remember sort of hearing of Kei Urana, who is the mangaka behind this. I love that she not only writes the story, but illustrates the panels. Like, it's got such a distinctive, grimy art style. And I don't mean that with any ounce of disrespect or negativity. Like, I feel the art mirrors this world so well. And Kay just understands how to write a good engrossing story with cool characters and cool visuals. Because since I think maybe about 6 months or so ago, I started working my way through the manga. I'm not up to date by any means. I sort of jumped in and I've read, I can't remember how many chapters, maybe 50 or so chapters, give or take, at the time.
Yep, they're up to 158 as of December 9th. So there you go.
Yeah, so I've got a bit of catching up to do, but I've allowed the anime to be my vessel of consumption for Gachiakuta at the moment, and I have not been disappointed at all by that. Like, when sort of this was announced, then sort of leading into watching that first episode in the season when it aired in July, I was not really skeptical at all. I was very excited. Bones rarely misses when it comes to animation. It looks like they've thrown a lot of money behind it, not only from the marketing we mentioned, but you can see the animation budget is at a high standard. Like, they've thrown a lot of yen behind this one to make it happen. But when you heard about it, obviously we talked about this thing a ways back, but was there any sort of moments of pause where you're like, maybe not. Maybe this is just going to fall in a bit of a trash heap here? Or were you just like riding high the whole time?
Yeah, but like, no, I don't think I ever thought that. I remember when I first saw the actual trailer and I was like, yep, this looks cool. This is what I want. I want this sort of vibe. This perfect. It's falls in that sort of shonen vibe that I enjoy. It's look really cool character designs and everything like that. I was more concerned that it was actually, I wouldn't say concerned, but when I first watched it, I was like, oh, I think this one will just be myself watching this alone. I won't watch this with my partner. I wasn't sure if she'd enjoy it. That said, the first episode, I remember watching it back in July. This is the one thing I specifically remember from when I put it on to watch for the first time. Put it on to watch by myself, and I was literally maybe 5 to 10 minutes in, and I stopped it and I went, I don't want to watch anymore. I need to go get Kaylee, and she needs to watch it from the start with me right away, because it was that good. I was like, this is 1,000% like really, really cool vibes, and she needs to see this, because the world building in those opening few minutes and the design and the look of the thing was just stunning. And I was just like, no, I need someone sitting here with me to enjoy this, because I need to be talking about it straight away. I can't wait to to talk to anyone else about it.
It's so good that it delivered on that hype right from those opening scenes. Yeah. And I guess, like you mentioned, the world building. So let's maybe shift focus to there. We'll talk about that world setup. Like, Gachiakuta opens in a very brutal, sort of stratified society where you see class division isn't metaphorical, like it's literal. Like, there is the high-end, hoity-toity, rich well-offs, and then there's everyone else sort of down underneath that. And then further behind that, you've got the abyss. So, like, it's really, really sort of great social commentary, I think. Even though this is like this futuristic, dystopian sort of type of future and society that we're sort of learning about here, you can sit there and go, man, this kind of feels like Earth right now, and it's kind of sad to say out loud.
Yeah, it gives some very 1984 or, brand new world vibes type thing, like very dystopian society and all that sort of stuff. And you don't really understand it in the first opening minutes until they kind of talk about, and then there's the slums and the tribes. It's like, oh, okay. And like, because I didn't want to read too much into what this was going to be, I was like, okay, I've seen the base premise of what this show is, or what it is, and everything like that. I don't need to know anymore. I want to be pleasantly surprised. And to see how the episode evolves, especially the first episode, it's like, oh, this is only a very small portion of the world that we're seeing, and there is a much grander world that we're going to go to right at the end of this episode.
Yeah, it's a great hook. It's phenomenal
such
hook.
A good hook.
And yeah, I really enjoy how they set up this world where we're introduced to Rudo. We see him scraping by and salvaging whatever he can to sort of make a living, while still being that nice, optimistic protagonist that is dreaming of something better. So you can immediately sort of attach yourself to Rudo and go, you know what? I'd be feeling the same if I was downtrodden and living in this world. But you see straight off the rip, this world is very hostile. It's very unfair. It's very suffocating. Tonally, I like that it's aggressive and grimy. Like you mentioned dystopia earlier. Like this isn't a nice, gentle dystopia. Like this is violent, it's loud, and unapologetically angry, which I kind of really vibe with. So you see this setting, survival, it's not a right, but it's a privilege, it feels like, where people are dying, people are getting beaten up, people are getting thrown out of these worlds into sort of the further wastelands below. And it just grabbed me right from the get-go.
Yeah, especially going back and rewatching these episodes, I think I even have a much larger appreciation for these early episodes than what I did on my first initial watch through. Knowing where the story kind of goes to, and I'm still not fully up to date with all the episodes yet, so, but like knowing where we get to into this halfway point of Core 2, I'm like, oh, I actually appreciate all the little subtle setups that they've done early on in this, and I'm guessing in my mind certain little things and mysteries and where other bits and pieces of the story might potentially be looking at going. But it's I'm even looking. I've got one of the manga panels up at the moment, and it's not something, I don't know if it's mentioned exactly or written the exact same way in the actual anime. But there's when Retko's looking at his hands and at Rudo's hands and all that sort of stuff, and he's like, the gunshot scratch is like nothing compared to the wounds my dad left me, referring to the blackness that's on his hands and the bandages on his hands. I don't remember that being in the anime. I don't think it's actually mentioned that way. They mentioned that his dad was a murderer and that, you know, he's going to be a murderer like his dad or something like that. But yeah, it was very, very odd that I just, something as I just skimming through pages this morning just to see, what sort of differences it was in the manga.
There's some certain references to his hands and his instruments, and around, I think what I watched, like, I'm up to date, I think it was maybe around episode 20, there's some stuff that gives a bit more context there in regards to that, but I can't remember if it directly circles back to that panel you mentioned, or maybe they've just sort of added a little bit of depth there. But on the info dump front, I really appreciate that it's very little as far as the info dump. Like we see this world gets explained to us through action, through prejudice, and through consequences. Like we're seeing how society's working very quickly, where we're seeing Rudo get blamed for a murder he didn't commit. He gets hunted and then ultimately discarded. So you can just see how cold and harsh this world and these people are. And the abyss itself, I like that it gets introduced through fear and rumor before we ever see it. So I feel, especially on this second watch, it made it hit even harder, where you hear and they speak about the abyss as if it's almost like some sentient being. And I guess we kind of find out that in a way it kind of is with trash beasts.
Yeah.
It just makes that hit really hard, especially when we see our lead, our MC, our protag get thrown away, almost discarded. You think, wait, they haven't killed him off already in the first season, have they? What's happening? But well done. Very well done. The lack of info dump.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's just like there's so many little hooks that get set up and you're left sitting there going, hang on, what? It's just, you totally get the rug just pulled out from underneath you at the end of that episode. And then just, to see the pit drop, like, and the way that's animated as well is just fantastic. Yeah, I can't praise it enough, to be honest. It's just really, really well done.
Yeah, I think the hook strength in this first episode, especially, like we always say it's very hard for these studios and these writers to be able to fully have a viewer engrossed in 20 odd minutes. But I reckon Gachiakuta has one of the strongest first episodes, especially when it comes to the hook, that I've watched in the last couple of years as far as new anime coming out, because that first episode, it's just so ruthless and it's so cold and dark. And even though you see Rudo having these fleeting moments of joy in his life, you can see straight away they're taken away with the accusation of the murder. And as you see him getting thrown into that abyss, at least for me, I was very emotionally invested, but also furious, like on his behalf, because this poor innocent boy has just like had all his rights taken away. No one listened to a word he said, and he's just literally thrown out with the trash.
Yeah, and like the stuff with Chiwa, like that's just gut wrenching. Like she turned on him so quickly.
Yeah, broke my little heart, because we were talking earlier about love and romance and slice of life, and so to see a little bit of love and potential, will they, won't they, in these sort of early episodes, especially in this episode 1, and then see her just 180 and like join the angry crowd and
the angry mob.
yeah, heartbreaking
It
stuff.
hits so very hard, and you feel Rudo's rage come through in that moment. Like, it feels real. You feel like you're having that you're sharing that emotion with him. You really do feel like you are right there with Rudo.
Oh yeah. I want to rise up with
especially when
him.
you see like the view into the crowd, and you see there's the murderer just standing there watching the entire thing.
It got my blood boiling, man. And I enjoy the stakes here in these first few episodes as far as table setting and getting us more engrossed. Like, obviously, what's at stake here? Rudo's life, first and foremost. That's the thing that we're sort of, introduced to and sort of brought along here. And then that sort of further relates into his humanity. But then you sort of see episode 2 and 3 shift the stakes from survival to purpose, which I enjoyed. Like, so he's still this little smoldering, silver-haired, red-eyed boy of rage, but you can start to see him sort of try and form that rage into something else and live in this world, even though he's already been decided that he's garbage and no longer worth caring about. So sort of seeing him use that rage instead of poison to use it to become fuel, I think that really helped build this world out, build my sort of appreciation and care.
He gives you a lot of attachment to the character too.
Attachment
like,
to Rudo.
You immediately become attached, and you're like, okay, well, I want to see what happens next. Yeah. And didn't help that in time of release too. I think, what did they do? They did like 2 episodes and then they had like a 2-week break because of something else. There was the Japanese election or something was on the night that it was supposed to air or something like that. And I remember that break between I can't remember if it was between the first and the second episode or second and third episode, but I'm like, no, I need another episode. What are you doing to me? Don't make me wait a week.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, this is an anime I look forward to as one of the most, as far as from this season. Obviously, it's flowed through 2 seasons now. This is one that I'm jumping in sort of day one whenever that new episode drops. Like, it's not, I'll just wait till the weekend and binge them on a Sunday morning or something. This is like one where I'm like, the second it's available, I'm in, I'm watching it, I'm loving it, I'm engrossed. And I think the big thing about that is, like, if we sort of ask the question, plot or not, I feel definitely 100% plot. Like, I feel these first 3 episodes, especially, like I mentioned with the stakes, it sort of escalates things in a very meaningful way, where episode 1, fall from society, episode 2, survival and shock, and then episode 3, sort of discovery of power and that sort of larger system. Like, it's a very classic shonen rise, but I like that it's wrapped in this filth and fury and grimy, seedy ickiness that you don't really see with a lot of shonen, and it just makes it really, really stand out from all these other shonen that are doing the rounds, because this world is just so unique and so different, and the power system in this world I love.
Yeah, it's just every time you see a new character pop up, you're like, oh, what's their vital instrument? What's their power going to be? What do they do? Because you are so curious as to how they can be creative with these instruments and things like that, and how they will function for each individual person.
Yeah. What would your vital instrument be, Benny, you reckon? If you're in this world, what would your vital instrument be?
I do have, from my childhood, I do have an old stuffed green monkey from when I was a kid that was actually handed down to me from my older brothers and then my uncles before them. So I do still have that. It's sitting in my wardrobe. So maybe that would become my vital instrument. How it would actually function, I don't know. But because that would probably be like one of my most treasured possessions, I think that would have to be up there.
Yeah, the one that, because I'm trying to think of just something like longevity, like that I had for years and years of my life that was like a big part of my core being. And I don't have it and I don't wear it anymore. It's been many a year since I've had it, but I used to rock like this wooden beaded necklace and I'd wear it 24/7 for maybe,
I remember it,
I reckon 10 plus years straight. So because I'm trying to think of something that can be a little bit nondescript, but could have some utility. So I could sort of almost use as like a whip or a rope, or I know has some sentient like wooden necklace snake ability. I don't know. So that's where I'm leaning, because I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, it can't just be like a manga or a figure.
Because it's got to be something that you actually really love. Like that's the whole purpose of these things. Is it's something that means something very special to you.
Yeah.
So like that's why I said like that stuff animal from my youth is the one thing that comes to mind that I really, really remember. But like, I can't think of anything off the top of my head at the moment.
Another one, maybe this fantastic BP40 microphone from my friends over at Audio Technica. Maybe because I don't want to use the dogs. Like I'm looking. I love my dogs so much, but I could never turn them into vital instruments. That's just not right.
I've got my kitty cats are either side of me at the moment. I could do that. My AT2020 microphone's a little bit on the fritz these days. I need to get it either repaired or a new one or something. But hey, Audio Technica, hit me up with a new one.
That's
it. But yeah, it's tricky because you it definitely has to be something that's very, very special to you and has some form of sentimental attachment.
Yeah.
So maybe that is a piece of jewelry or like for me, something from my childhood or something else that's just a gift that was given to you. That's basically, and if we circle back a little bit to the show, like that's what the gloves were for Rudo.
Yep.
You know, jumping a little bit ahead, we find out the gloves are his vital instrument, but the gloves were a gift to him from Regto, you know, his pseudo father. So yeah, it's very, from what I can tell, especially as the episodes have gone on, and I look back at especially Ammo, which we won't really talk too much about her, but how she gets her vital instrument. Like, it's one of those things where depending on how you come into contact with that item is how that you form that bond and everything with it.
Yeah, we're not going to be talking about her or her story at the moment, but like jumping ahead, because I just want to highlight her and her story. I think watching her backstory play out was some of the heaviest anime I have watched in several years. Like, it is brutal. It does not hold back. It does not shy away from these cold, dark truths and nightmares that this poor girl had to live through. Like, testament to them for leaning into it and showing it all instead of just like talking about it in a roundabout kind of way. Like,
the way they animated the storytelling of that, I think, is actually very, very cleverly done. But it was just like, and there's plenty of places on the internet that talk about how truly accurate that story is for people that have survived that sort of trauma. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So there is a trigger warning for when you get up to those episodes. I think it's like 12 or 13 around that point. But yeah, the way that it's actually animated and the story is told, like, my partner, she had to get up and walk out of the room. She couldn't watch it. And I had to wait until it was over and say, okay, that part's over. You can come back. Because it is deeply disturbing.
Yeah.
If you think about the worst things from, say, you know, that happens to characters in, say, Game of Thrones or something like that, it's on that sort of level without going too much further into the details.
Yeah, it is heavy. It is done in a respectful way, but yes, it is trigger warning. It hits hard. It does not shy away from the content there. So just make sure you're in the right frame of mind when you are watching around that sort of midpoint of this anime, because it's fantastic storytelling, but it is raw and it is uncomfortable and it is very jarring and could be very difficult for a lot of people to watch. But again, like, I really admire that they did not just sort of leave that as a cleft note in the story and just sort of skip over it and sort of just allude to something that happened to Amo in her younger years. They were just like, nah, this is it. You're seeing it right now. And I think that's what I really appreciate with this story.
Yeah, it's something that we should be talking more, like, not, we shouldn't be glorifying it, first off, foremost, never glorify it, but it is something that we should be talking about and not shying away from in a lot of media anyway, because it is a very real reality of our world that we live in these days. It's one of those things that, and I think it just helps people talk about it with mental health issues and things like that, well and truly on the rise. I don't want to get into a dark subject too much here, but it's one of those things where you just, I find that, especially with how they've done it, how they've presented it, and making it a really, really solid talking point, it just, I think it's really, really well done. It's fantastic.
Me too. And I think, like, we've sort of harped on a little bit, and we'll talk more about the story in more detail soon. But yeah, I just feel everything is just done at such a high standard. And even though there is this dirty grittiness to it, it doesn't sort of dampen the polish, which kind of, I guess, is it's a stark contrast where I'm talking about griminess and polish, but they can coexist in this world somehow, because everyone involved in the storytelling and the art direction, the voice acting, we'll talk about all that soon. Just chef's kiss. So let's shift into characters and chemistry here, Benny.
Sure.
Did you want to, like, we'll talk high level as far as not the designs first, but maybe just the characters as they are as people. Who are the standouts to you that you wanted to sort of highlight here from these first 3 episodes?
I mean, Engine is our
what a dude.
Hero.
He's an aura farmer.
He's the aura farmer. He is Gojo. He is any of these characters. He's All Might. I'm trying to think. Who's Kakashi Sensei from Naruto? He is that typical character. He is the cool badass character that everyone's going to love. Everyone's going to fall in absolutely head over. All the girls are falling head over heels with him already. My partner included. She barks at the screen when he comes on.
Woof, woof.
She's going to be mad at me for saying that. But like, I even think Engine is just an absolute total badass. He's the coolest, straight up.
Yeah, I loved him the second he graced our screen or graced the manga panels. Like, cool, confident, and mysterious. Like you mentioned, like, he's just aura. He's scene stealing. Like, he walks on the screen and your just eyes are drawn to this dude because he's just a badass. I love that he acts as both savior and provocation. And I like that he is sort of this, I wouldn't say moral compass, but he is the person that recognizes Rudo's potential before Rudo understands it himself. So he's sort of acting as this cool, almost like older brother type of guide. And he's just a scene stealer. Anytime he comes onto the screen,
the opening scene with him in Rudo, where he's just sitting there, he's just like, "Shut up, dude, just shut up!" Like, and then just loses it, and it's like, they're attracted to noise, you fucking dumbass. Like, it's just one of those things. It's just really, really great. It's just perfectly acted and animated scene, and like, you can't even see his face because he's wearing that mask as well, which. Talk about a cool ass mask.
Yeah, just a dude.
Yeah, he's the coolest.
He's
probably the first one I really need to highlight. Zanka, it's taken me a while to get into Zanka. He's getting his due in these later episodes that I'm catching up to now. Yeah, but like his doo-doo fight with Rudo when they first meet.
That made me cackle.
Especially like the slow motion bit where the music changes to this like classical music and like he's just swinging it and jumping over this cat as it's running and everything. It's just the sheer look of horror on his face is just it's magic. I absolutely love it. And then Rio, which we won't get too much into Rio yet because she only really pops up right at the end of the episode 3. But as soon as she pops up, you're like, I want to know everything about her.
Yeah.
Instantly.
I love her.
You're like, oh, who's this baddie? And every girl is going to want to cosplay her straight away. And there's been plenty of them already. Yeah. And it's like, who is she? I want to know everything about her immediately. And like I said, she pops up literally at the end of episode 3. So you don't get anything until episode 4. But, the scissors and everything, just cool as fuck.
Yeah, very cool character, very cool woman, very cool aesthetic. Her vital instrument, the giant scissors, like it just made me think of Kill la Kill the second I saw them. Yeah. So there was almost like a little cheer and a squeal from me when I saw that. But cool vibe, really, really great backstory too. Like I'm going to avoid anything else because it's future episodes, but it's cool to get context on who she is, how she came to be, and what have you. And it's like, whoa, someone I thought couldn't get any cooler has now gotten even cooler. Like, what the hell is going on here? So she's great. I enjoy, Zanka is very much like the yin to almost the whole collective group's yang, where he is a little bit more straight-laced, prim and proper, really cool vital instrument again, like his sort of staff that he rolls around in.
Yeah, he's described by Engine as the closest thing to a preppy rich kid.
Yeah.
On the ground. Like, that's basically the closest thing that they have down there. And he plays that character well.
Yeah, but it's a good foil to the rest of them, especially like with Rudo. Like him and Zanka couldn't be more chalk and cheese. But Rudo, he's a really interesting, compelling lead. I have a love-hate relationship with sort of angry, loud hero characters.
But such a trope.
They juggle him well. He's not to the point of an Asta, which like the amount of yelling and loudness really irks me sometimes watching Black Clover. But Rudo, I feel his anger and his loudness is more than justified, but they don't elevate it to those sort of levels that sort of nails on a chalkboard for me.
He's not a Inosuke or a Asta or a Bakugo. Like, you know, he's very like there's similarities for sure, but he's definitely different.
Yeah, I like though that he feels very real. Like he's got that strong moral compass that you want in a shonen lead. But I enjoy that he's got very minimal emotional regulation. Like he does boil over a bit, and his character and his aesthetic, especially with the red eyes, really then emphasize or multiply that sort of anger level when you see him getting frustrated, because he's just got such a cool look. He's like
all of them,
dirty, grimy Bakugo from My Hero.
Exactly.
Every time I see him.
Like you mentioned the red eyes, I love that we've got, you know, the colors with their eyes. Like Engine's got the yellow, Zanka's got the blue, Rio's got the green, and you know, Rudo with the red. So, you know, like they kind of like looks like they've set up design wise very purposefully chosen these colors. I think
like
that's
the Power Rangers, man.
Pretty much, like, well, like I think that's something that like Kei Urana's done really, really well with her character design, and you know the way she's written these characters. Especially, she's designed a lot of this around her own youthful struggles, and like Kei Urana as well. Like you can see photos of her on the internet and things like that. She's
a punk
very
rock
much
chick.
this punk rock, do-it-yourself aesthetics. She loves, so that's kind of why the junk turning into these powerful items and things like that works so well. It's because it comes from that real punk rock design. It's so cool, and I think that's why so many of these characters, they tend to stand out. And even some of the other characters, which I don't even know the names of at the moment, but like getting to them later on, like there's something about them that just really just jumps out off us. You know, like I want to know what you can do.
Yeah, like I love like you don't see her in these 3 episodes, but I love Fantasia, the one that wears like the giant, like the kaiju hoodie suit. Like,
yes, well, see, I'm up to her, and she's running around, and I don't know what she does yet, and I'm so excited to see what that giant kaiju suit does.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's something to do with that.
One of sort of the villains you meet, like Jabba with his like Freddy Krueger claw.
I hate Jabba so much. Like he is like a perfect villain. Is in that he's both a masochist and a sadist at the same time.
Yeah.
He's disgusting. Somehow there's people on the internet that are obsessing over him, and I'm like, this man is like the worst of the worst. Like he is absolutely horrible, and I hope he dies a horrible, horrible death in this series. I can't stand him. He's disgusting. He freaks me out.
I think you nailed it. Like on the character designs, I love because Kei, she sort of paid her dues and worked under Okubo, who most notably known for Soul Eater and Fire Force. And he even said that like she is the next big thing. Like she's going to replace me and sort of take over as one of the next big mangaka. And you can sort of see a bit of his influence and a bit of those 2 IPs influence in the art style.
Yeah.
And like, I love
if you've watched any of Soul Eater or Fire Force, you will see that art style definitely comes across and it's because she was an assistant animator and drawer for him. Like she worked literally underneath him. So he has, like you said, specifically called her out as his next successor.
Yeah, which is big praise.
Big praise, because Soul Eater is amazing and so is Fire Force. So she's taken all the lessons that she learned under him and she's just absolutely running with it, and she's kicking ass.
Yeah, because like after sort of paying her dues with Fire Force, she did 2 one-shots, and then this is her first full-length manga, and it's just gone. So power to Kei. Like shout out for the hard work and just having a cool eye for good storytelling, good character art, and just making it so distinctive from the rest of the show. There's a gajillion shonen out there, and this thing really stands apart. And I think those character designs really help. Like I like you highlighted the different eyes. I like Rudo's design, especially like he's got, the crazy hair, the intense red eyes. And I like that he's got these clothes that are too big for him. Like he's in these oversized trench coats and gloves and boots. And I think it really reinforces that he doesn't fit in anywhere. So I like that there is some sort of visual based storytelling there. The monsters of the abyss as well. Fantastic designs, nightmare fuel-y, creepy. I love that they're grotesque but imaginative because they're, born from discarded objects that these people didn't want. Like I couldn't think of anything worse than an old Fisher and Paykel fucking dishwasher coming at me with God knows what else attached to it.
But yeah, those giant trash beasts that you get introduced to at the start of episode 2 are just freaking cool. I just remember when I was watching it the first time around, just going, man, this is just so cool, and everything about this world is really, really cool. It's just all the designs. Like we can harp on it all day, just talking about every little design aspect in this show, because they're all like very purposefully done and very. Everything just feels purposely curated, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
For a reason. Like it's just so cool.
Yeah, I think so. And I think as well, like, even though we don't see much chemistry between some of these characters, because, yeah, the early episode especially was all about isolation with Rudo just discarded. But by the end of episode 3, and you're starting to see Engine and Rudo start to interact. And, yeah, like I mentioned, I feel I get a little bit of a older brother, younger brother, mentor type of energy, but there is some tension. Not really warmth, but a bit of tension between them, as siblings can be. And so I'm excited to sort of see where future clashes may or may not sort of come up between those guys.
The energy levels between Zanka as well as Rudo as well. That's that sibling energy that's there. And then Rio just pops up out of nowhere, and you're like, what the hell is this? And and you see just Rudo at the edge, just completely paralyzed, because he's like, a girl's running her fingers through my hair. What's going on? He's like trying to figure out, like, he doesn't know how to act or anything like that.
We've all been there.
Oh yeah, 100%. But the the one thing as you were talking that as well, is something that just came to my mind, is when he's every time Rudo's trying to force a smile with the character design, and like it's just this hideous Joker-like grin. Yeah, and it's like, especially with that opening interaction with Zanka, where he's like, oh, Zanka forgives him for taking his stick and everything like that, and then immediately Rudo's like, oh, this is what happens when you diffuse a situation rather than fighting. Rah, rah. I should try smiling. I reckon I'm pretty good. And it actually flips the situation a complete 180.
So
he's
good.
like, I was being nice to you, you asshole. What the hell? Like, it tries to,
It's so
yeah,
good.
it just wants to beat him up again. Like, yeah, it's very, very cool. I'm just going to gush all day about this now.
Yeah, the chemistry, it's great in these first 3 episodes, and only gets better and better as these characters get more familiar with themselves. We get more familiar with the characters, and more characters are introduced. Like, there is a large ensemble cast that they throw at us here in Gachiakuta, but I really appreciate that it never feels overwhelming. Like, everyone seems to fit in, and you go, oh, I get who this person is. I get what that person's doing. I get why they're part of this story right now. It's not just throwing stuff at us for the sake of it. Like, it's really, really crafted as far as that pacing and those constant introductions to new characters.
And the characters you need to pay attention to, you pay attention to them very, very quickly. Like Jabba, we mentioned before, Zodal, who comes in very much towards the end of the first season / core. Being the big bad and all that sort of stuff. You pay attention to who he is very quickly. Amo, who we mentioned before as well, you pay attention to who she is very quickly. So some of the other cleaners, like, I haven't really absorbed who they are yet, but you could tell, like, I can't remember the character's name for the receptionist. Like, she's like just a badass too. Just, you're like, what is this character's? There's something else about this character. And you're like, oh, where's this going to lead? So knowing that there's all these other characters where I know there's something cool about you, but you haven't shown me yet, and I'm really keen to find out what it is.
And I think that's part of the excitement of this story, is every little breadcrumb they give us, or every little rubbish scrap morsel they give us, just like, oh, who is this person? Like, they've got this look and vibe that I just want to know more about, or, what's their vital instrument going to be? Like, there's just so many cogs turning all the time that just make me excited for what's to come. So let's shift gears. Let's sort of start talking about the animation. Like, I know we've sort of talked on and off here about art style as well, so we don't have to sort of go too much down that path. But I think first and foremost, like we've said, Bones have done a phenomenal job as far as the art and the fluidity in the animation itself. Like, I really enjoy that it's very raw and kinetic. Like, the animation is leaning into sort of jagged motion, exaggerated impacts, and sort of really gritty textures, which I feel really, really emphasize not only the characters but the environment these people are constantly living and fighting in and around. The fighting scenes, I enjoyed that they're not pretty. They're very violent and desperate. Like, they're very real. Like, there is some cool choreography there and some cool moves and some stuff that happens. You go, whoa, like, they did that. But I feel it's very grounded in a way, and just works for me in that regard. And then I feel even in the quieter moments, there is still just this tenseness that's just constantly in and around these characters.
Yeah, animation wise, it's like, how can I put this? It's like in video games when you go from 30 frames to 60 frames per second. This feels like the 60 frames per second of animation. Like, it feels so crisp and smooth. And the grime that you mentioned, like it pops so well. But everything else around it just, like I said, it just feels really, really smooth. Everything just is very purposeful. The direction that they've used here to, control these scenes and things like that, and pull the manga off the page and put it into moving pictures is just brilliant.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I feel like the use of color and lighting in this series and in these first 3 episodes, like, those above ground scenes, very muted and oppressive to just, mirror the oppression and the muted nature of that society up there. But you see then down in the abyss, like, it's exploding with like these sickly greens and rusted browns and harsh shadows. Like, it's a really good contrast to those, bastards up on the surface there. And I like that color is often used in this anime to really reflect emotional states like rage, fear, survival. Like, it is a very muted or very sort of, low sort of color palette consistently, but in those really emotional moments, you do see, these big vibrant sort of splashes thrown in throughout the fights, or the vital instruments awakening and doing their thing and whatever else. Like, and it just, it just works. It's got such a throwback with the art style, with the color, but it also feels modern and new at the same time, which I really appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the color popping, especially, like, and you just made me think, like, I've got the Nanoleaf TV surround sound or surround lighting sort of thing on the back of the TV. And just every now and then, like, when you get these pops of color come through, just the whole lighting on the back wall. I love watching this show with the lights turned off and everything in the living room. And it's just getting that color that just fills my room from, the Nanoleaf stuff that I've got. Not sponsored, I just think it's fucking cool. But it's like you said, it just highlights those little things. There's the bits of neon in the city, the art that pops up in later episodes when you meet the artist type character. Then also, like the glowing from the eyes, because everything is so dingy and grimy and done with such purpose. When those eyes glow, when they activate the vital instruments and the color that pops around the vital instruments as well, it just makes it pop just that little bit extra more, and it makes it 10 times better.
And it acts like almost like a tractor beam. It just draws your eyes straight in, like where it's dimly lit, grimy, not much vibrancy in the scene. And then, you see the vital instruments sort of awaken or activate. And then that often is then re-emphasized by the eyes. Your eyes are just like drawn right there, and it's just it's a fever dream, man. Fever dream.
Like the first time that Rudo activates his, and it's the chains and everything, and it's just those red lines across the ground and all that sort of stuff. This is immediately after he's bitten that guy's fingers off as well, by the way, which we've kind of skipped over a chunk of this, but like it's just just amazing. That's when you really get a first idea of what Rudo's potential powers are, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Oh my God, this is so cool. And and then those pops of colors, like you said, draws the eyes, gets your attention so quickly, and you're like, I need to know more straight away. Again, it gets those hooks in that we talked about from that first episode, where at the end of the first episode, we're like, I need to know what the next thing's going to be. Does it again, using those pops of color and those animation and choices that they've made. Like I said earlier, everything is curated decisions for a reason.
It made me think like in the early to late sort of 2000s, when a lot of the digital camera companies were doing that sort of color option where you could make everything black and white, but add one like hero color or shade.
Yeah.
And I remember just running around with that thing, having the best time taking photos of everything where it was all black and white, then just vibrant red or vibrant blue. And that's what this anime
I was doing
always
that
makes me
recently
think of.
just with Ghost of Yote. Like I'm obsessed with photo mode in Ghost of Yote, and that's one of my favorite things is to go to the one scene where it's just like everything's black and white except the reds. All the reds just pop off, and it's one of my favorite filters.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what this anime is in a nutshell, in a way, where it's just one continuous favorite filter in action, and it just looks so good. One thing, like you mentioned earlier regarding the great direction, one thing I really liked with it, especially with scenes with Rudo, you see the camera is often like really tight and like crowding him, sort of just reinforcing this sense of panic and claustrophobia with him. Like the direction, like you never relax watching this anime because even the exposition scenes are feeling like violence is about to sort of erupt at any moment. And so I'm constantly, even there is in those quieter, lighthearted moments, I'm just waiting for something to tip over and a fight to erupt. And I think that's just really sort of built up and leveled up by just the direction that they have on display here, because it's very expertly done, and just a subtle way to sort of create tension and
I think it's actually really, really well done with Zunka in that first interaction with Zunka. It was like, oh, they're going to fight. Oh no, they're going to be friends. Oh no, they're going to fight. Oh no, comedy ensues. So it changes so rapidly, but like it's like you said, it just grabs that sort of attention, and yeah, it's just so good. We're praising this thing so much at the moment, but yeah, it's purposefully done for a reason, and it stands out.
Yeah, something else that stands out to me, like if we shift now to an audio standpoint, like first and foremost, we'll talk about the soundtrack straight off the bat here. One of the best openers of the last several years, hands down, like Hugs by the band Pale Dusk. Holy shit balls, does it get my head banging and my toes tapping right off the rip.
Every time I hear it, I just hear that and I get my heavy metal loving brain just goes into overdrive, and I love it. The riffs are awesome. Everything about this song is great. And if you actually listen to the full song, like it's a full 5 minutes, 33 seconds. I swear that song changes genres probably about 6 times at least. It's insane. And it's awesome the whole way through.
Yeah, Pale Dusk were on a heater writing that one. And it's an immediate tone setter for this anime where, you know, I think an opener can almost become its own character in a way. And I feel for this first core using Hugs by Pale Dusk, it just gets you in the right mindset right off the bat. Like you mentioned, I love a good bleh in a song.
Yeah.
And I love a good crunchy riff. And you get, like, at least for what they've used here for the OP, very crunchy, very like genty. Like I love that sort of genty style usage of guitar tune. My only gripe and grievance with the OP is it ends so abruptly. Like you get this crunchy breakdown. Then it's like, oh, now the anime's starting. I'm like, give me more of this. Give me more of this.
Yeah. I want this intro to be like another minute long because that song is so very, very good. But like even in that like very short intro chunk of the song that you get, like it changes and the volumes change up. Like at the start, it's like, you know, Never Let Go Forever is what's being chanted in this almost orchestral male choir sort of vibe, and then into the you know, the all that grungy metal stuff, and then it's kind of got this little bit of a hip hoppy sort of tone, and then it goes very quiet, and then it builds back up, and then it's like this maniacal laughing at the end of the OP. Like it's all over the place, and then the actual full song as well. Again, even more so is all over the place. It's like, I don't know, it's like a Japanese modern version of Bohemian Rhapsody. Like it jumps that far all over the spectrum in terms of music. It's just crazy. It's brilliant though. Absolutely brilliant. And if you get a chance, listen to the full song.
Yeah, it is a banger and it fits this anime perfectly. Like this is like Rudo's hand in one of his gloves. Like it fits that well. I like that the song mirrors and builds up the anger that is to come in this anime.
Yeah.
Like, so like you feel that Rudo is the front man of Pale Dusk almost. Like you go, I wouldn't be surprised in a future episode you see him form a band and they sing a song like this on stage down in the abyss somewhere. But it was really, really good. We'll drop the links for the opening in this because it's a toe tapper.
Could you call it like some sort of like trash junk metal style almost, like this song, because that's kind of like how it fits this world so beautifully.
Yeah.
And the animation that goes through with the opening as well is just brilliant. Like very punk rock, very lots of junk themes, obviously, and things like that. But there's the bit, especially in the quiet bit of the music, where there's this weird, like stitched together image of a face, which you assume is Rudo. It's just beautifully done and like perfectly timed with the music as well. And then to flip that on the outro as well with Tomoshibi by Dust Cell. Like, oh my God, what a bop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like so very good. And just again feels that whole punk trash junk vibe that's going on there. And it's just so very good as well.
Yeah, they perfectly accompany each other very, very well. Like I'm happy that they've settled on these two. Like I'm not fully sold on Let's Just Crash.
I didn't write that down in my notes, but yes, Let's Just Crash. It was immediately added to my liked songs on YouTube.
Yeah, it's a fun time, but it just doesn't have that same impact that Hugs does. Like Let's Just Crash rolls in from episode 14 onwards. It's a good time, but Hugs is the standout here for the first season.
I haven't actually put the outro into my playlist yet or anything for the second core yet either, so I'll have to get that chucked in there eventually as well. But it's also a bit of a toe tapper.
Yeah, so that's banned by Karanoa for the second core. But yeah, Tomoshibi by Dust Cell and Hugs by Pale Dusk, add them to your playlists immediately. They are bangers. Two very different songs, but they bounce off each other so well.
But the other thing is, even the music within the episodes is really, really good. I want to highlight, and I'm trying to remember exactly when it is. In episode 3, I want to say, there's a bit of music that's playing from when, I think it's when Rudo's chasing the cat before he meets Zanka, which is this sort of grimy, futuristic, industrial sort of sound almost when he's in the city there. Yeah, like the soundtrack, just everything about feels like it's purposely world building. And the soundtrack adds to that environment as well, because it's like we are a trash society, so everything around us has to be this trash theme. So it kind of plays really, really well with the entire world that's being presented to us on the screen at the same time.
I agree. The use of sound is almost a character and social commentary to not only this world but our world. And yeah, I enjoy the background music. I feel that it adds to and elevates scenes, but it doesn't take away from the scenes. Like it's there and it's noticeable. Like you see those, or not see, you hear those industrial beats, you hear the distorted bass and the low drones, and it really builds up to some of these big moments. But yeah, the soundtrack is not providing comfort, but it's helping press you down in those more dire, dark moments, but also just add more like fist bump, toe tap sort of vibe, because it's just punk rock. Like I think that's a really good way to describe Gachiakuta holistically. Like it is
just
punk
in
rock.
general, it's just huge punk rock vibes, and it's clearly just a representation of Kay herself, of like what she represents or how she wants to portray herself, and she's put that on a page as well.
Yeah, let's shift now to the vocal performances. So we'll talk about some of the voice actors themselves. I've been jumping between the sub and the dub just because the dub is coming out a few weeks behind in comparison to where the sub is currently running. But I feel both.
So wasn't the dub coming out like it was simul dub at the start when it was first dropping?
But it's dropped back.
It was,
yeah.
Okay. Because I'm still a few episodes behind, so that's why I'm not too sure.
I can't remember if it was maybe when Core 2 kicked off that it started to be like a week or two back, but before that it was usually day one sub-dub drop, which was awesome. But like Rudo, Bryson Vegas looks after him from an English standpoint, and Awe Ichikawa looks after him from a Japanese vocal delivery standpoint. I feel they both give fantastic interpretations of Rudo as a character. Like you hear the rawness, that emotional, unrestrained sort of delivery. Like the screams feel very earned, not performative with Rudo. And so I really enjoyed their work. And then we've got Christopher Weekampf and Katsuyuki Konishi looking after Engine. Again, very smooth, very cool, very controlled deliveries, both in the Japanese and the English. Really perfect contrast to sort of Rudo's volatile way of speaking and delivering lines.
Yeah, I like I said, Engine just feeds that Gojo Satoru vibes. Like, and I think a lot of that is, and I've only listened to the dub track, so apologies to sub lovers. I watch sub sometimes, and sometimes I watch dub. It really depends on the mood I'm in. But yeah, Engine, like Christopher, he's done such a fantastic job. Just oozes that cool charisma. And then also Katie Caruso, who we only get a very short amount of her as Rio at the end of the third episode, but she's fantastic, especially as we get to know her character a little bit more in the few episodes that follow. I think she's fantastic as well, and just oozing all those things that we talked about with Rio's character earlier, about how this is the cool character that all the girls are going to want to cosplay as and everything like that about this character. And then she's to be a freaking badass as well. And the voice works so purposely good with it. Like I said, can't speak too much on the Japanese voice actors, I'm afraid, because I haven't listened to any of their performances. But I'm sure, given the cast that you mentioned, I'm sure they've done a fantastic job.
They both work really well. Like, sometimes when you start leaning one way or the other, the going from a sub to a dub, the opposite can sort of feel jarring sometimes. You're like, that's not my Rudo, or that's not my Engine anymore.
Yeah.
But I feel no matter which way you lean, whether you're a sub or a dub chaser, you're going to have a good time. I think because the consistent high quality of dubs these days are at an all-time high, we're getting fantastic vocal work from these actors, no matter where they are in the world, and they're giving it whatever they can to embody these characters. So you're not going to be hard done by if you decide to wait for everything to come out and just watch it front to back in dub with an English vocal track, or if you want to jump in now and go the sub route. The Japanese vocal track's fantastic. Like you mentioned, Katie Caruso as Rio. Yumiri Hanamori looks after it from a Japanese standpoint. And like you mentioned, how she's like cool, calm, collected, carefree. Like they both really embody her as a character, but then also can flip that script when they need to go, no, I'm actually a bad bitch rocking these giant ripper scissors that you don't want to mess with. So the vocal work on both ends of the language spectrum, high quality, fantastic, double thumbs up, high fives, all the positives, because I've loved both and I could happily go either direction depending on my mood.
Yeah. And that's it. I people, especially sub lovers that don't like dubs or whatever, like I understand why they want the pure Japanese side of things, but at the same time, it's like, for me, I've always been watch what you want, enjoy what you like. So for me, like with this particular anime, I've only really watched the dub, mostly just for ease of accessibility for me. And also when I'm watching a lot of these shows, I'm watching them at nighttime. So, and subtitles, whenever I'm reading subtitles, they make me tired. So that's why I prefer dub most of the time.
Yeah.
That said, like Demon Slayer, I watched, especially in the later seasons, I watched a lot of that in sub first, and then went back and rewatched the dub. I did the same with a lot of My Hero back when like seasons 5 and 6 were all coming out and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I've got nothing against subtitles themselves. It's just one of those things where this one just haven't had the chance to listen to the sub.
We don't yuck anybody's yums here, Benny.
Nah, but again, given the quality of the cast that's there, I imagine it's very, very high level on the Japanese side as well as the English side. And the English side is fantastic.
It really is. It's one of the strongest English sort of dub vocal performances across the entire cast that I've heard in a few years. Like, I don't want to sound just like we're tooting Gachiakuta's horn, like we're no Paige Shields here, but I feel genuinely this is such a strong vocal performance. Whether you go sub dub, you're not going to be upset either way.
I'm just going to tout one other voice actor that doesn't appear in these episodes, but Ian Sinclair to play Zodal. Like, this is the guy that plays Brook from One Piece, a talking gentleman skeleton, and is laughing all the time and things like that. I've been rewatching Haikyuu lately just because the dub's now dropped on Crunchyroll, and mostly I'm watching that dub simply because I didn't want to rewatch the entire thing subbed. I just wanted to put it on in the background and kind of half watch it. But Ian Sinclair plays like one of the characters in, I can't remember which volleyball team now, but he's in that as well. And just to go from those two characters then over to Zodal, who's this very slow, methodical speaking, and you can tell 100% it's the exact same voice actor.
Yeah,
but it's two different characters.
And Zodal's a badass. Like Zodal's the boss of the Raiders, and like you mentioned, he's very cool, cunning, and calculating as far as you see him. You don't see him expressing any emotion pretty much ever. And the vocal interpretation of what they do with Zodal, chef's kiss.
Yeah. And like I said, to see him going from Brooke from One Piece, who's one of my favorite One Piece characters, to Zodal is just night and day difference in terms of characters, but you can tell 100% it's the same voice, but the tone and delivery is so purposefully done in a way that this is just brilliant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that one.
Yeah, just some of the vocal performances for that group of Raiders in general, all fantastic, all distinctive. Like again, it's just everything is done at such a high bar with this anime adaptation. Like you're gonna be loving it. Like I said, no matter which way you go.
Zeno, who voices Jabba, like, oh my god, I mentioned how much I despise Jabba as a character, like, because he's a bad guy. He is a pure villain. He's someone you are meant to hate. Like that voice performance by Zeno Robinson for Jabba as well is just immaculate.
Yeah, I agree. We'll just quickly touch on this part just as a bit of a homage, because for people that have stopped past the podcast here for the first time, this podcast used to be called More Than Hentai. So we're going to talk about fan service. We're going to talk about ecchi and tropes and stuff. And I feel there isn't really any fan service, especially in the first 3 episodes. Like there is a little bit of cheekiness with some of the female costumes, but they don't really hypersexualize anybody in this world. They do play with some tropes, but that's more like some of the shonen tropes. It's not really too much from a titillation
I would
perspective.
say, and this is coming from a man's point of view, obviously, so take it with a grain of salt, but like Rio's probably the only one that's in that sort of vein where we're probably going to look at it with that sort of sexualized fan servicey sort of lens. But even then, I don't feel like it's the hugest amount of fan service is given to it, especially in the opening episode.
No.
Episode 3 when you first see her. The one that comes to mind that is very fan servicey is Ammo, without going into any spoiler territory or anything like that. And that's nothing to do with what we talked about before with all the tragic backstory and everything on Ammo. It's her general costume design is very fan servicey.
You can see the Fire Force nods there, going back to the female agents in that.
Yeah, but the very goth punk rock vibes that is presented with Ammo as a character design as well it's very obvious. So I feel like it's intentionally a punk rock design, but acknowledging that shonen fan servicey trope. Like I can't think of any of the other characters that I've seen in the series, and even up to the episodes that I'm up to, like are very fan servicey designed.
Yeah, I think and maybe a lot of that's to do with the female mangaka, because all the women she's written for this story, they're powerful forces of nature. They're badasses. They're strong. They're independent. They're ass kickers. Like you don't see any damsels in distress in this series. Obviously, the things that happen to Amo, horrifying, disgusting things that should never be occurring in this society or any society. But outside of that, she takes her power back and becomes and ascends to a badass as well off the back of that trauma. But I feel every female that I can remember being introduced to in this world, they're all very strong. Like we meet Nord from the Raiders. Yeah, well, that's what I was just
trying to think of is like, who's the Raider one that I've just met, and it's Nord. And you're right, like even her, like I'm not seeing that very fan servicey design on. And again, like I said, male point of view, take it with a grain of salt. Maybe a female perspective may be different on it, but from my point of view, I don't see it as very fan servicey at all.
Yeah, I think Kei Arana just knocked it out of the park with the designs, both from a male and a female perspective. Like this anime is neither horny nor happy. It's just very angry and alive, I feel.
Let's roll it back. Maybe it's fan servicey from a different point of view. And because like I said, male point of view, my lovely partner barks like a dog at Engine. So and she's going to kill me when she hears this podcast, but for saying that. But yeah, like maybe there is a little bit on the flip side of it, because Engine is very, very, very cool and handsome and a badass. Zodal is very, very cool and a bit of a badass.
Oh yeah, there's gorgeous characters on both the good and the bad side.
Both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So maybe, like I said, different point of view. It may be seen as a little bit fan servicey, but like I said, from my point of view, I don't see it as very fan servicey at all.
Yeah, like to wrap it, I feel, it's definitely more than hentai. Like it's more than shonen, more than dystopia, more than rage. It's about worth in a world that labels people disposable, which is disgusting because that is what a lot of people out there are living in our reality these days.
Yeah.
So a lot, again, like very strong social commentary, very strong relatability with this world. Benny, let's jump into our favorite scenes and moments. You can choose to look at this in order of, we can talk some stuff from episode 1, then 2, then 3, or you can just throw some of your favorites irrespective of what order. So let's talk about some of those moments that got you hyped.
Okay, so episode 1, the fall into the pit. The way that is shot or animated, where you are literally looking through Rudo's perspective, and then as they release him, it's just instantly you just see the falling, and you feel like you're falling as you watch it. Like that is this like such a highlight from that episode. It's right at the tail end. It's the last thing of the episode, and it's brilliant. It absolutely is brilliant. Like you're already on the edge of your seat leading up to all of this because like the show really sinks its hooks in so quickly. And then to get to that point and just that feel of anger and rage at this angry Bob that's shouting at Rudo, and then you've got his perspective, his point of view, and then all of a sudden it's all gone. It's just pitch black, and you see that falling. It's just, it's fantastic. Absolutely love it.
It's that part was my favorite of the first episode, and it might be collectively my favorite from the first 3 because. We see him getting thrown into the abyss. Like there's no ceremony, there's no mercy. No. It's just pure hatred and gravity at work here. And then when you see Rudo screaming as he falls into the abyss, it's pure rage. It's not fear. Like he's not like, help me. There's no tears. He's like,
I'm coming back. I'm going to kill you all.
Yeah.
Like
And it's just such a tone setter. And I think that was what really, really grabbed me. Like, obviously, the art style and the characters in this world so unique and distinctive, but just seeing this rage building up in this young man as he's just thrown, like instantly. Like I said, they don't romanticize this thing. They don't drag it out. It's just, you're done, little one. And then just seeing him sort of, spit this rage as he's falling. Just, it's getting me hyped up again now as we talk about it.
Yeah, it like you said, it's hyped up talking about it and just thinking about it. Like I could feel it in my chest, and like I can feel my heart starting to race again already. In episode 2, when he bites the fingers off, of the no, he's not a raider, he's just a whatever, just a trash human being essentially. Biting the fingers off, and then like seeing that the powers that Rudo's sort of inherited and he takes over those chains, just so cool, such a cool moment. You're like, oh, Rudo's something special here. Like, but then just, the biting of the fingers off and then seeing the bones, like he's literally just ripped the meat off the bones of his fingers. He's just holding his hand up. You just see the bones of the fingers. It was so cool.
So brutal. And like, even though we know this world is dark and forgiving and brutal, I always get a little surprised when we do see like very visceral gore like that in anime.
It's such an interesting timing on it too, because if you recall, like, so July when this dropped was also when we had Clevitas, Togen Anki.
Yeah, Togen Anki. I really didn't like Togen Anki, hey.
I didn't at first, and then as I watched a little bit more of it, I was like, oh, I see what this is. And it's like, okay, this is a filler junk food anime for me. So that's kind of how I picked up on that. But like more just in terms of the tone, because that's got a lot of blood and viscera and stuff in it as well.
Yeah.
we had all these 3 animes, and I think there was another one that popped at the same sort of time.
Yeah, well, we had like the summer Hikaru died, had a bit of gore, a little bit more boy love, slow
That's what I'm thinking
burn.
of, probably.
Sakamoto Days had some gore in it as well in that second season. And then we had a really, really good run of like romance and slice of life and Dandadan season 2.
Yeah, so like all of that all dropping at the same time and just how visually impactful they all are. I just, very, it's not right, coincidental or ironic. I don't know which way you want to lean on it, but it's just one of those things. I was just thinking about it then, like just to get all these sort of very visceral and violent and brutal anime all happening at the same time was just, what a time to be alive. So cool.
It was such a bit of whiplash for me last season, going from hyper violent, bleak, heavy emotional stuff to then jumping into My Dress Up Darling season 2, The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity, another season of Rascal. Like that was like, I was going from ha ha ha, I'm happy, love, love, love to the world sucks, people are shit, life is dark, you're not going to make it out alive. So I was really like dancing the tightrope.
Yeah. And then you still got like, shows like Blue Blocks, Fragrant Flowers, like Ranma's Back, which is just pure comedy brilliance.
So good. This latest season is so fun.
I love Ranma. I just love that it's back. But like you said, the whiplash is very, very real. But hey, that's what makes anime so special, is that there is just a wide spectrum of things.
Yeah, and I think that's what's cool, like, because we have had hundreds upon hundreds of shonen stories out there, and a lot of them all do start to sort of just meld together with similar stories, similar universes and stuff, where this is just so fresh and different, where it feels the same, but then it also feels completely different at the same time to a lot of the other shonen we love. So again, like double thumbs up in that regard. I think episode 2, that standout for me was just that first encounter with the trash beast and just sort of seeing the sense of scale, like, very kaiju-esque when you're seeing these skyscraper-sized hell beasts sort of just form from all the wastage, like, from the things that are getting tossed from up above, and seeing these things become sentient and whatnot. I'm just like, whoa, okay, this is cool. This is like Mad Max, like Dune sandworm type of vibe going on out here. Like I was eating it up.
Yeah. It's those trash beasts, like, and such each unique designs again. It just, and then watch Rudo like fighting, especially because he can't breathe too. Like he's not used to this environment. He doesn't know how to breathe in this environment as well. Like, so that's one of those things. It's just watching him fight in this moment is, again, just edge of your seat sort of stuff. Once again, like just getting its hooks into you and helping this world just expand in front of you.
Yeah, and I did appreciate too where we see Rudo in this second episode where he's fighting with his bare hands. Like it's just pure survival, like no training.
Yeah,
he is just combat feral little superstar doing whatever the heck he can to survive out here in this crazy wasteland. Episode 3. Any shout outs, any notables outside of, I think we're probably the biggest one we're both going to mention is just the introduction of Engine, right?
Well, yeah, introduction of Engine, but yes, obviously, because he's the hot boy. But
Swag Daddy.
Zanka and the plunger, sorry, and the doo-doo, the doo-doo fight. Just hysterical. Just such a turning point, because it's like, oh, you've already gone through a gambit of emotions right there, where you've got, we're meeting this other cleaner character. Oh, he's going to be the trainer. Oh, wait, okay, they've diffused the situation. Oh, wait, no, they're fighting again. And then it turns into a comedy moment.
Yeah.
And it is such a brilliant comedy moment. And like I said, the slow motion with the cat, and he's jumping over the cat, and Zanka's just like flying backwards, and then all the doo-doo just comes and splatters all over him. I was howling. It was brilliant. I loved it.
And it didn't feel out of place. Like, even though it has been barren, despair, fight for your life, you could die at any second, and then we get a bit of comedic relief. It just worked. Like, tonally, it just fit right in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't sort of immersion breaking where I'm like, ugh, this doesn't make sense. Why is this funny, lighthearted moment here? Like, it worked and it fit that moment, that scene perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's especially after two very bleak episodes, let's say. Like, there's a little bit of comedy in episode 2 when you first meet Engine and he yells at Rudo for the first time. But, like, it's just like, oh, well, there is actual... The world itself is not 100% bleak. Like, there's still some life in this world, and there's other things to enjoy in this world still.
I agree with you 100%. I think the other sort of cool fist bump moment for me in that third episode was seeing Rudo activating his power, like seeing the objects responding to his emotion and his intent. And I was just like, whoa, like this power system's getting a lot cooler right now. Like, this is something new. This is something fresh. What are they going to do with this?
Yeah, so it's going to be really, really cool to see as time goes on. And you kind of get a little bit of glimpse of it in other episodes without spoiling things as well. Like, future episodes, you do see like some of the other things that he, turns into weapons and so forth. Yeah, it's cool to see what kind of other crazy designs and items that they can come up with, as well as seeing all the other cleaners and raiders and all their other things that they can do with their instruments. All the unique things that Rudo's going to do. Yeah, really, really cool.
Yeah, and not really a specific scene, but I think what I really liked in episode 3 relates to the world building, like just sort of confirming that the Abyss isn't just chaos and death and despair. Like, there's a system at play here where there's a city, there's different races and different groups and different clans and all this stuff happening. So I'm like, whoa, there's like this big world and this big ecosystem that they're going to continue to flesh out and reveal to us in future episodes.
It's
like,
not
I think
just
that was
a
well done as
dumpster
well.
pit at the bottom of the world underneath the sphere that's floating above them.
Yeah, no, so well done. So well done. So let's shift into the second last piece here I want to talk to you about, Benny. So we're going to talk about the first 3 episode impact and overall watchability. Like, this is just to get a bit of a final judgment on that hook and that vibe check after you sort of had watched these 3 episodes. Like, so I feel it's probably a rhetorical question here, but did it leave you wanting more?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. Like I said, I'm playing a little bit of catch up at the moment, but that's literally, it's just because probably like work, or because the episodes drop on Monday nights, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, it might have been something else I was doing that evening, or Kay probably wasn't in the mood to watch for whatever reason that evening. So we put a lot of shows on the back burner. I mentioned to you offline earlier, like I'm a few seasons behind on My Hero, just because we want to be in the right headspace to watch it. So I haven't not wanted to watch it for any reason, but yeah, we've watched a few of the more recent episodes over the last couple of evenings, and by God, I just want to keep watching. Like, Kay was like, oh, I'm falling asleep, I've got to go to bed. I'm like, but I want to keep watching more episodes. Okay, I'll watch a few episodes of Haiku before I go to bed then. So it's like, yeah, it gets its hooks in. If you like shonen, if you like something with a little bit of violence in it, really cool action, really cool punk rock aesthetics, I think this is going to be for you. If any of those things speak to you on any level, I think you'll enjoy this. If not, it's not for you. There's plenty of other things out there.
Benny, I'd like for you to rate the 3 episode hook based on this following very scientific metric scale here.
Scientific metric scale? Out of what number are we going?
So would you say for this first 3 episode hook, would you say Not Tonight, Senpai, or Instant Watch?
Instant Watch.
Yes, I would too. But I wanted to sort of like jump on the back of what you just said there too, where I feel if this first episode or these first 3 episodes, if you wanted to do the rule of 3, if they don't grab you, I think this series might not be for you. But again, that's totally okay.
Yeah, 100%. Because like we mentioned, there's some very triggering episodes later on. There's some other themes, and obviously with the whole world being about trash and throwing away humans and things like that, that could be triggering for a lot of people too. So totally understandable if this isn't a series for you, but yeah, it's definitely worth a look, worth giving it a shot and a trial, and just seeing how you like it. I think this might be one of the better shonen in the last several years. It's up there with those that everyone raves about, like the Jujutsus, the Chainsaw Man, the Solo Leveling, and things like that. It is that level of quality, and it definitely deserves your time if you can make the time for it.
I completely agree. And if you're still on the fence about Gachiakuta, the most common compared anime on my anime list are as follows: Soul Eater, Sabakui Bisco, Kill la Kill, Medaka Box, and Dorohedoro. So if you've watched any of those five and loved any of those five, there's a high chance you're going to love Gachiakuta.
Especially Dorohedoro, because that is like literally, I feel like that world design is they're two parallel worlds.
And like, I don't know, have you watched Sabakui Bisco? Because it's very much wasteland, post-apocalyptic, race-driven, and one of the MCs rides around on a giant ass crab. Like, it is a time.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is a time. If you've watched any of those five and really enjoyed your time with that, I think you're really going to enjoy your time with Gachiakuta. And vice versa. If you're done watching Gachiakuta, go watch those other five.
Yeah, especially if you like Fire Force or Soul Eater. Like, again, like Okubo has said, like, K is his successor for a reason. And Soul Eater and Fire Force are fantastic and worth your time. Fire Force isn't just about firefighters.
That's why I didn't watch it for so long, because I'm like, I don't care about an anime about firefighters. Then I watched it, I'm like, I'm an idiot. This is great.
It's about fighting fire demons. It's really, really cool. You should check it out. But yeah, Soul Eater as well is really, really cool. It's about fighting witches and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. So yeah, and this is, seen as the successor to those two stories. So definitely check it out.
Can you imagine if Gachiakuta somehow forms part of the connected universe with Soul Eater and Fire Force somehow?
That would be so cool. I don't know how it would happen. I can kind of understand how you could potentially get there, but like maybe it is a prequel to Fire Force. Like, I don't know. Just trying to wish that into reality now. That sounds like a great idea. But yes, listeners, viewers, that brings us to another end of an episode here for Sakura Society and Anime Appreciation Podcast. Thank you all for stopping on by. Be sure to rate, review this podcast as well as all the other podcasts you listen to on the regular, because those ratings and reviews, they take no time, they cost no money, but they mean the world to content creators like ourselves. So please pay that good karma forward where you can. You can find all the rest of the podcast back catalog over at sakurasociety.co or at yourfavoritepodcast.com. Check out In Bloom, which is my little bite-sized servings of anime news and season updates available in podcast and video form on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and obviously on the podcast feed that you're probably checking this one out as well. Wanted to also send a big, beautiful, heartfelt thank you to Benny for his fourth appearance here on the podcast. It has been an absolute fantastic time having you on, talking about one of our favorite anime of the year by the sound of things. Yeah, I'd say it's probably, it's easily the top 5. It's kind of hard when you've got movies like Reze Arc and Infinity Castle this year as well. But yeah, this is one of those ones that's up there, I think, and just, it's taken me by surprise, and I absolutely love it.
We are very spoiled in 2025 because we've had not only fantastic film, like Benny mentioned, but also fantastic new and returning seasons this year and the long form content as well.
Yep. And we've got some really cool new ones to look forward to in 2026 as well, which I'm so looking forward to Kagurabachi.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
But it's a good time to be an anime fan.
Certainly
but listeners, viewers, Sugoi Squad, whether your anime be subbed, dubbed, or still yet to come, enjoy yourself and much love to all the gorgeous waifus and husbandos out there. Goodbye.
Stay thirsty.
そう僕がキラ